Coming to you live and or pre-recorded, I'm Sven Sandberg from the WTTT studios in beautiful Central Florida, and this is The Time Traveler, random ramblings and mindless musings from a prematurely retired travel consultant with your host, Greg Angstrom. Thank you very much. Thank you for that warm welcome to another sleep-inducing episode of The Time Traveler. So glad you could join Sven and me as we explore how I got my start in the travel industry so many years ago. Now we have a lot of ground to cover today, so we're going to jump right in. Sven, do you know what is significant about today, August 19? Yes, it is National Hair Bow Day. Also National Soft Ice Cream Day. However, more importantly, it is National Aviation Day. Yes, that's right, Sven. In 1939, President Franklin D. Roosevelt proclaimed August 19 as National Aviation Day to honor the birth date of Orville Wright. Now, Orville, of course, along with his brother Wilbur, were pioneers in the aviation industry. Orville is recognized as the first pilot, although Wilbur actually won the coin toss to fly their airplane first, but failed in his attempt at flying. Now, to help celebrate this day, I have a Lufthansa Airbus A380 model ready for takeoff right behind me. All right, well, what better day than National Aviation Day to talk about my beginnings in the travel industry? Now, as you time travelers know, I am originally from Iowa. Now, because I am an Iowan and forever an Iowan, I should be able to use this next acronym without putting myself in hot water or offending any of my friends or relatives still living in Iowa. Sven, do you know what Iowa stands for? No? Nope, that's not it. Okay, Iowa, I-O-W-A. Idiots out wandering around. Stop. No, stop. Okay, so now before you fill the Time Traveler mailbag with hate mail, and even worse, rotting silage, please understand that this term of endearment applies to me just as well. Well, being from Iowa, our main vacations growing up were either 200-mile driving trips to Fort Madison, Iowa, where my maternal grandparents lived, or 400-mile driving trips to northern Minnesota and Leech Lake, where we would stay for a week. A week spent boating, fishing, water skiing, swimming, and most importantly, every afternoon at 3 o'clock, taking one thin dime to the resort store and getting a dreamsicle. Yes, that tasty treat of vanilla ice cream covered with orange sherbet. Ah, summer memories. Well, you may or may not know this, but there are Iowa, Minnesota, and Iowa, Nebraska jokes by the bushel basketful. But to not alienate my Minnesota friends, I will not share that the only good thing to come out of Minnesota is Interstate 35. Okay, sorry Minnesotans, I didn't mean to say that, don't you know? Okay, well, you know what? It's time to get into the time machine.
Ignition sequence has started. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Wow, okay, well, it was the summer of 1968. As a 12-year-old that the aviation bug bit. Oh, I loved car trips, and I used to keep a journal of mileage traveled, gasoline stops along the way with price per gallon and miles per gallon achieved, as well as any stops for meals and overnight stays. It was kind of a junior travelogue of sorts. But it was my first plane flight on this little beauty that got me started. Yes, that is a float plane, and this was my very first aviation experience. I can still remember the thrill of taking off and soaring over the lakes and forests of northern Minnesota, and then coming in for that bumpy landing on the surface of the lake. Now, another thing that sticks in my memory banks is that I was allowed, I was told to sit in the co-pilot seat in the front of the plane. Now, typically, this preferential seat would have gone to my older brother or one of the others flying with us that day. However, Due to weight and balance issues, that's an aviation term, I was the one privileged to sit there. Well, let me explain what that means. Now, you have probably all heard this phrase, use not fat, use fluffy, okay? Well, we all know that calling someone fat is usually frowned upon. One might be called corpulent, pudgy, stout, plump, hefty, fleshy, portly, rotund, or one of my favorites, big boned, okay? Let me show you what a 6-month-old big boned Iowa farm boy looked like. Yeah, I know. Frightening, isn't it? Okay, well, a visit to the doctor would have my mother asking if she would be concerned about my weight, because at 1 year of age, I was tipping the scales at 30 pounds. And the doctor would say, no, it's okay, Mrs. Angstrom. Gregory is just big boned. Okay, well, thanks, Doc, for that diagnosis. All right, to show the difference in size that got me into the co-pilot seat on that float plane, here's a picture of my favorite brother Doug and me decked out in our Little League uniforms. So, even though there was 2 years difference in age, you'll notice that Doug has the super slim sized uniform, okay? And mine is the big boned option, okay? Last but not least is one of my all-time favorite pictures, my first day of kindergarten in 1962. A couple things to note as you look at this picture. All right, so in that picture, we have the required rug that every kindergartner carried off to school on that first day, as we always had a rest period where we would roll out that rug like we were on a camping trip. But the most important thing to note about that picture is my rolled up blue jeans. Now, for the record, that was not really the style of that day, but due to the fact that unlike my brother in his slim sized jeans, I had the jeans marked Husky. Yes, that's right, they actually said Husky on the jeans. Now, if that doesn't give you a complex growing up, nothing will. Well, Sven is telling me that our time is up for today, so we will continue this ongoing saga in the next episode. Husky, big boned, stout. No matter what you call me, I'm kind of a big deal. Ciao for now. Thank you for joining us for today's episode. Remember to subscribe, share, and like this channel. This is Sven Sandberg for The Time Traveler, random ramblings and mindless musings from a prematurely retired travel consultant.